Today, I want to be discussing on a comparison between NLS device models. Precisely, we want to compare the similarity and the differences we have with the 𝗵𝗲 device and the Biophilia tracker device, and also the 17D NLS device. So examination accuracy, Biophilia tracker 96%, 𝗵𝗲 92%, Hunter 90%, 17D 85%. For those of us that have knowledge or have been trained in acupuncture, do you know that you can use your 𝗵𝗲 device and your Biophilia tracker device to trace acupuncture points that you need to needle in order to get healing from certain pathologies. So if there's a particular pathology going on in an organ, all you just need to do is to get to the etalon that is talking about acupuncture, and anyone that flags red, any acupuncture point that flags red, those are the acupuncture points that you just need to needle and get your healing frequency. Is that not a cheat method that you will want to take advantage of? So you will need this device and you will need this training. Why would you not subscribe? Why would you want to go for this machine? I just said let me put this out there for you to take note of. So if you are not yet using the NLS device, you need to come on board. I'm just trying to whet your appetite. Trust me, you need this device. It will give you, to put you in a better position of command in your consulting practice. So as you can see, this is Biophilia Tracker X5 Ultra. Biophilia Tracker X5 Ultra. Okay, I want to take the intestine as an example that I want to hunt right now, because this ultra scan is this ultra scan that I unchecked that is responsible for the hunting. So if I check it, it is active for ultra scan or localized scanning. Can you see this particular spot where I am now? If I click on it, can you see it there? It's going to scan. Can you see the name? 𝗘𝗶𝗹𝗆. That's the localized area in the intestine by name 𝗘𝗶𝗹𝗆. Okay, so you can see there are a lot of level 5 there. Alright, okay, can you see a level 5? Alright, you can see a level 5 here. Because of this, it's switched. You see, it has switched to spiral scanning, and it has done a macro cut and localized the scan. It went straight to the pancreas because it detected that that's where the problem is. Now we are on histological section. It has done an histological cut and is looking at the ultra structure of the tail of the pancreas. Ultra structure of the tail of the pancreas. You can see that there are issues here. So these are where the pathological changes are taking place. Now it has now gone further to the next level of cytological cut. All right, cytological study of the B cells of the pancreatic islets. Right, that's the islet of Langerhans. You can see that it's seeing pathological changes there. So this is how hunting goes on. All right. Today, I want to be discussing on a comparison between NLS device models. A comparison within NLS device models. Precisely, we want to compare the similarity and the differences we have with the 𝗵𝗲 device and the Biophilia tracker device, and also the 17D NLS device. Okay, now let me start with trying to tell you some of the common features that you will find in your nonlinear system analyzer. Right, it is called nonlinear system analyzer simply because the analysis that you get from such devices are not straightforward. That's why it's called nonlinear system. Okay, linear is like saying something is in a straight file, a straightforward answer. It's in a straight line. But when they say something is non-linear, it means you don't get the answer in a straight line. It's not a one-way traffic. All right? you will have to do further investigation on the results you get before you can conclude. That's why it's called nonlinear system analyzer. All right. So what happens is that whatever result you obtain from the initial scan, normal organs, abnormal organs, showing you organs that are stressed and organs that are not stressed, you will want to focus your further investigation on organs that are stressed, the organs that are in red, because you want to narrow it down to know what pathology is going on there. What's the disease name precisely that is responsible for this red? What is stressing this organ? All right, that's why it's called nonlinear system analyzer. And what happens is that when you want to do further investigation, you take one organ and you place it on another platform in the software to do further investigation. So on a normal simple transaction or diagnosis, you may need to interplay with about 4 to 6 methods of analysis before you can conclude that this person has this pathology or that pathology. All right, that is why it is called nonlinear system analyzer. And that is why we have different models that are carrying features that will enable certainty in the research or enable some advanced level of research. All right, so the common one that we have is the 9D, 17D, 19D in quotes analyzer. We have the 3D. The 3D, it's an old model, still good, but there are several features that you will not find in the 3D. Right? So, but what you will find in the recent NLS models is the 17D, the 19D in quotes. All right? So we are comparing 17D versus 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗆𝗆 versus Biophilia tracker. All right? Let me put it this way. We have the 17D, then we have the Hunter, then we have the 𝗵𝗲𝗆, then we have the Biophilia tracker. Or, I don't want to talk much about, okay, before Biophilia tracker came out, we have the Biophilia intruder, before we now have the Biophilia tracker X4. And just recently, last year, Biophilia tracker Ultra X5 just came out, which I'll be telling you what that does. So before I continue, I have taken time to produce courses that will help you master this device. All right? And it's not just all about buying the device, you need to know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, you are wasting the resources. So I would encourage you to subscribe for my online masterclass courses. I have taken time to produce an elaborate course on the Biophilia tracker, device X4, X5. Okay, NLS device, 𝗵𝗲𝗆 device. I have taken time to produce several modules of videos that breaks down how to detect this, the various features of the device, how to treat, and so on. I have taken time out to do videos that will help you understand how to use this device. If you watch the comments even on my YouTube channel, you'll see some people even commenting that this is the best training course you will find online. All right, so I would encourage you to subscribe. Now, once you subscribe, you have an advantage of not just watching the videos, but you have the advantage of lifetime coaching, meaning that you have access to me. If you have any question, you can reach out to me through chat. Within 24 to 48 hours, I will respond to your chat. You can screenshot, you can call, and all that. I am committed to you if you are my subscriber. Currently, as we speak, we have subscribers in 33 countries, and many of them are benefiting a lot from this. So what are you waiting for? I will encourage you to subscribe. Now, if you want to subscribe for any of my courses, the NLS 𝗵𝗲𝗆𝗆, Biophilia tracker, natural medicine, 𝗘𝗡𝗨 device, we have all these courses. Just type on the comment section, I want to subscribe. and I'm going to guide you on how to subscribe.
𝗘𝗡𝗽𝗀 Academy has so far built a credible record of training about 1,000 subscribers in 34 countries and still counting. You can be one of them today. What are you waiting for? Subscribe now.
Alright, let's focus more on 𝗘𝗏𝗏 versus biophilia tracker. Now, there is something common that you will find now in 𝗘𝗏𝗏 and the biophilia tracker X5, and that is the ability to hunt. I will talk about that later on. Well, let me talk about the difference between hunter and 𝗘𝗏𝗏. Okay, the advantage that 𝗘𝗏𝗏 has over hunter is that 𝗘𝗏𝗏 now has the ability to scan chakras, okay, while the normal hunter device doesn't have the chakra feature. So you can't check the chakra feature with the normal hunter. We call it 𝗘𝗡𝗅 Okay, that's just the normal hunter device. But the 𝗘𝗏𝗏, which is the most recent version of hunter device, has the ability to carry out chakra analysis. Alright? Biophilia tracker X4 doesn't have the ability to hunt. Now, biophilia tracker X5 has the ability to hunt. I'm going to show you a display of how to hunt with the biophilia tracker Ultra S5. Alright? What it does, both of them, that's 𝗘𝗏𝗏 hunter and biophilia tracker Ultra S5, is that they are able to localize research. They are able to localize research. What do I mean? If a pathology is going on in this longitudinal section of the head, with 𝗘𝗏𝗏, with your hunter device, with your biophilia tracker Ultra S5, you can, assuming that this is where the breeding center of the pathology, like maybe where the bacteria is concentrated, you can localize the research, meaning that you can zoom into this particular point where we have the beehive of the microbial activity going on there, so that you can now carry out more investigation to see the changes that are going on in which cell, in which tissue, and so on. Alright, that's the ability, the advantage that 𝗘𝗏𝗏 has, that has made that device more popular. Its ability to hunt, and the advantage of its ability to hunt makes it possible for treatment to be faster, because when you unearth the root cause of the problem, when you open up the root cause of the problem, if this hand was closed and I want to clean it up and there's a dirt inside, and I'm able to hunt to open it, to be able to find where the dirt is, it makes it easier for me to clean faster. That's why I normally say that the speed of recovery that you get from a 𝗘𝗏𝗏 device is 3 times that of the 17D, meaning that it treats like 3 times faster than your regular NLS device. Okay, can you see a level 5? Alright, you can see a level 5 here. Because of this, it's switched. You see, it has switched to spiral scanning, and it has done a macro cut and localized the scan. It went straight to the pancreas because it detected that that's where the problem is. Now we are on histological section. It has done an histological cut and is looking at the ultrastructure of the tail of the pancreas. Ultrastructure of the tail of the pancreas. You can see that there are issues here. So these are where the pathological changes are taking place. Now it has now gone further to the next level of cytological cut. All right, cytological study of the B cells of the pancreatic islets. All right, that's the islet of Langerhans. You can see that it's seeing pathological changes there. So this is how hunting goes on, all right? Now, it has also gone further deeper to the chromosome level to check if there are faults there. And you can see in the 19th pair of chromosomes, okay, so now he's trying to do further scan to see. Then the next level is the DNA, going further to the DNA to see whether there is a faulty DNA that is responsible for some of this manifestation. So what now happens is that for each of these levels, if you notice, after each of this level of hunting, there is a number that is kept there. You can see it has gone further to check the DNA that is responsible for the insulin receptor. All right, that's where the problem is. Okay, it has finished and it's going out. All right, so you can see it has gone back to the original organ that was being scanned. All right, so now what happens for each of those places? Let me pause this scan. Okay, what happens is that if you now want to do a metatherapy treatment for all those levels that you saw that was hunted, that was localized, you can go directly into each of those individual cells, tissues, organs to do metatherapy on them one after the other. That is how symptoms disappear faster, because you have taken the healing frequency directly to the needles. All right, that's the localized point of pathological activity. All right, and you are sending a reverse frequency there, and that is how it's able to reverse the pathology going on there and make treatments faster. So that's the advantage of hunting. You're able to localize the root cause of the problem and send treatment directly to the root cause, and then the neighboring organs or the connected organs and tissues, it then makes treatment faster. All right. Now, when it comes to the biophilia tracker, apart from the fact that we now have tracker ultra S5, the sensor that biophilia tracker has, that's biophilia tracker X4 and X5, is called a 4D torsion sensor. All right, and that is able to detect faster, able to scan faster. It's far more sensitive than that of the Metal Hunter, and that's the advantage it has to be able to treat way faster than the Metal Hunter. All right, I'm just trying to give you a breakdown of some significant features that you will find. For those of us that have knowledge or have been trained in acupuncture, do you know that you can use your Metal Hunter device and your Biophilia tracker device to trace acupuncture points that you need to needle in order to get healing from certain pathologies? Okay, when we're talking about acupuncture point, take for example ST44, LI4, all those acupuncture points that you are familiar with, that you usually will needle in order to relieve the body of certain pains or certain chronic conditions. Your Metal Hunter device, your Biophilia tracker device can show you those points. So if there's a particular pathology going on in an organ, all you just need to do is to get to the etalon that is talking about acupuncture, and anyone that flags red, any acupuncture point that flags red, those are the acupuncture points that you just need to needle and get your healing frequency. Is that not a cheat method that you want to take advantage of? So you will need this device and you will need this training. Why will you not subscribe? Why would you want to go for this machine? I just said, let me put this out there for you to take note of. So if you are not yet using the NLS device, you need to come on board. I'm just trying to whet your appetite. Trust me, you will need this device. It will give you, to put you in a better position of command in your consulting practice. Now, speaking of the hunting ability of these two devices, that's the Metal Hunter and the Biophilia tracker Ultra S5, when it comes to hunting, it hunts at nothing less than 4 levels, precisely 8 levels, but I'll just talk about 4 levels. All right. There's what we call, when it wants to localize its research, it does a macro cut, meaning that it can cut open this region, a big chunk, that's macro cut, to investigate inside. Then it can run what we call histological cut. Histology is talking about the study of cells, all right? So it's going to open up the cells of a tissue to study the pathological changes that are going on within the cells, all right? So that you're able to know where the problem is, trace the root cause of the problem, and be able to make treatment faster. Another level, the next level of hunting that it does after histological cuts or research is chromosome level. It carries the hunting down to chromosome level. All right, research carries out that some pathologies that people exhibit at adulthood or at mature state, you can trace the default chromosome, meaning that there was a defect or there was a dysfunction of certain chromosomes, and that is why later on is able to exhibit or manifest some of the diseases or symptoms that the person is experiencing or manifesting. All right. So when the hunter or the Biophilia tracker is doing such scan, is able to trace the faulty chromosome. Is able to trace the faulty chromosome so that you can actually zoom out that particular chromosome when you are doing your metatherapy to treat that chromosome. When you treat that chromosome, then you get your healing faster. The advantage of hunting is for you to be able to isolate that cell, that tissue, that organ, that chromosome, in order for you to be able to do metatherapy on that chromosome, on that cell, on that tissue. All right? Instead of just doing general metatherapy on an organ, you can localize your treatment on those different levels of research so that treatment will become faster. Now, the highest level of this research is when it now takes it down to the DNA level. The DNA level, it's able to trace the root cause of the disease or manifestation of certain symptoms to the faulty DNA. So you can trace the root cause to a faulty DNA, you can trace the root cause to a faulty chromosome, you can trace the root cause to a faulty cell, to a faulty tissue, or to a faulty organ. So there are about 5 to 8 levels of hunting that you can carry out with your Meta Hunter device and with your Biophilia Tracker Ultra X5 device. So the good news I'm bringing to you now is that if you have a Biophilia Tracker Ultra X5, you may not need your Meta Hunter anymore because it's carrying out virtually more than what your Meta Hunter does. So I'm going to be showing you a little practicals on the Biophilia Tracker Ultra X5 that just came out, because you may not be familiar with some of the hunting features. So I'll just do a little display to show you the hunting ability that this device can do so that you will better appreciate this device. And if you ask me, of all these devices, which one should I go for? I will encourage you to go for Biophilia Tracker Ultra X5. Go for Biophilia Tracker Ultra X5. If you want to order for it, contact me. You're going to see my number on the screen. You can reach out to me, and I'm going to give you, from a reliable source, an amazing machine, and you will thank me later. So as you can see, this is Biophilia Tracker X5 Ultra. Biophilia Tracker X5 Ultra. Okay, I want to take the intestine as an example that I want to hunt right now, because this ultra scan that that I unchecked that is responsible for the hunting. So if I check it, it is active for ultrascan or localized scanning. Can you see this particular spot where I am now? If I click on it, can you see it there? It's going to scan. Can you see the name? Small bowel. That's it. A localized area in the intestine by name small bowel. Okay. So you can see there are a lot of level 5 there. Alright. Okay, see another place too. Look at this place. I want to localize scanning to this point. And I click on it. Can you see? That is the blood vessels of the intestine. Can you see? You can see it's also carrying a black square, meaning that there are issues there that need to be attended to. So the idea is this. Let me pick another spot again, a third spot. All right, then we'll scan. Now this particular place is the endothelial cells inside the blood vessels. So I'm hunting inwardly. Now, if I want to now do metatherapy, you can see now I can now take them one after the other. Take, for example, the endothelial cells. Then I go to do metatherapy. I've selected that. I now go to do metatherapy on the endothelial cells. I click on metatherapy. Now I can click X3, X4, or X5. But for want of time, I'll click X3. So if I hit on it once to start metatherapy, I'm not touching the button again. It's going to run metatherapy 3 times. That's the advantage of Biophilia tracker. And now the 3rd time, you see. Okay, so now not to make this video long. Alright, so that is it. So if these 3 levels of hunting that I did, you see, I just did metatherapy on the endothelial cells, then I come back, do metatherapy on the blood vessels, come back, do metatherapy on the small bowel, and so on until I get back to the intestine. All right, so treatments like this is what makes treatments go faster. Remember, it was the intestine that I was hunting then. All right, so that's the amazing features or advantage that you get with the Biophilia Tracker X5 Ultra. So I'm going to give you a rundown of comparison between NLS models when it comes to certain parameters. All right, number 1, when it comes to examination and accuracy, the Biophilia Tracker X4, X5 has an accuracy of 96%, has a test accuracy of 96%, while that of a Meta Hunter has an accuracy of 92%. Accuracy of what? 92%. While that of the normal Metatron Hunter has an accuracy of 90%, and your 8D, 9D, 17D, 19D has an accuracy of 85%. I didn't generate this result. This result is coming from the manufacturers. This is coming from the manufacturers. And as a matter of fact, during my training, there have been a comparison when it comes to examination accuracy between the NLS devices and the lab work, and the accuracy was compared from 85% versus 45%. What they're trying to say is that some of the blood works that we do, all those urinalysis or taking a blood sample to carry out certain tests, okay, maybe for tumor, for cancers, or whatever pathology, they say they have carried out the examination accuracy and they have traced it to have an accuracy of 45%. So you see that the NLS devices has a higher chances of giving you more accurate diagnosis than the lab work. I didn't claim this. I didn't do this research. This is coming from manufacturers. This is coming from investigation that have gone years, many years ago. All right. So why it is so is because the NLS device carries its investigation at cellular level, meaning that it can carry it, it can trace it to the cell. All right. While the lab work requires blood sample, and that's why sometimes they will carry out certain tests, and if it has not entered the blood, they will not be able to see anything. But with your NLS device, the moment a pathology starts from the tiniest cell, it will pick it up. It will pick it up and tell you this problem is there. Even if you are not seeing symptoms now, just a matter of time before the symptoms start manifesting. I have had several cases like that, where I have scanned and told the patient, the machine is saying you have diabetes or you have so and so and so on. I say, no, there's no symptom and so on. Just a matter of time, they come back to me. All right, so I've proven this over time, so it's easy for me to believe. All right, so examination accuracy, Biophilia tracker 96%, 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗹𝗆 92%, Hunter 90%, 17D 85%. Now, when it comes to what we call bioresonance sensors, all right, the sensors that these devices have in the headsets, all right, that is able to scan, the Biophilia tracker has 4 sensors, while the rest, intruder, 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗹𝗆, Hunter, 8D, 9D, 17D, 19D, all have 2 sensors. So Biophilia tracker 4 sensors, and the rest 2 sensors. So that's why it's more sensitive to pick pathologies faster than the rest. So it's possible that if you use a Biophilia tracker, it can pick a pathology faster than even the 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗆 and other devices, other NLS devices. All right. The Biophilia tracker also has the advantage of having a biorod, while the rest don't have biorod. Okay, the biorod, if you've heard the word 𝗓𝗧, that's the layman's language I can use to explain that. It's like a rod that you use, you hold on, and by the time you turn it on, it sends electricity at low frequencies into our body to destroy parasites. So it's used to destroy parasite, viruses, bacteria, and so on. All right, so that is one advantage. It's like having a 𝗓𝗧. It's like a 2-in-1 device. So the Biophilia tracker has the biorod 𝗓𝗧, or the biorod, let me call it the biorod, okay, while the rest, 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗆 NLS doesn't have the biorod. Okay, then when it comes to scanning method, the Biophilia tracker has 4D torsion and ultra scan. 4D torsion and ultra scan. The ultra scan now is in that Biophilia tracker S5. That's the ability for it to hunt. Okay, so but it uses a 4D torsion. That's a very powerful sensor that is using to scan, and that makes the scanning speed way faster than the rest other NLS devices. All right. So Biophilia tracker has 4D torsion scan, that's scanning method, 4D torsion and ultra scan, while the 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗆, the Hunter devices, they all have 3D spiral scan. Their scanning method is by 3D spiral scan. All right. While the 9D, 17D, 19D has a 2D unit scan. So 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗆 3D spiral scan, 17D 2D unit scan, and then the Biophilia tracker 4D torsion scan. Then when it comes to metatherapy, that's treatment, I'm going to do a video in the near future on protocols for metatherapy for free. But the Biophilia tracker has the advantage of multiple therapy, while others don't have that. What it means is that when you click on the metatherapy button, there is an option for you to select X4, X5, meaning that one hit will run the metatherapy 4 times, 5 times, as the case may be. So it makes it easy for you to just hit the button and relax and wait for the machine to do its work instead of you doing it manually. If you wanted to run metatherapy 5 times, you will now have to click. That's with the 𝗵𝗲 with the NLS device. You have to click them one after the other. So 5 times you click it 5 times. But with the Biophilia tracker, 1 time can give you the opportunity to treat 5 times. 1 time will give you 5 times of metatherapy treatment, saving you the stress of hitting the button several times. So that's the advantage that the Biophilia tracker has over the 𝗵𝗲 and all other NLS devices. Then when it comes to vegetal test reporting, usually your NLS device should have a report template, and the NLS devices normally generate a report template that produces your CSS reading, that's your CSS results, that's coefficient of spectral similarity results, entropy results, and NLS biochemical results. NLS biochemical results, that's CSS results, entropy results, and NLS biochemical results. However, we still have the vegetal test, which carries the highest form of confirmation of the presence or absence of disease. But yet, the 𝗵𝗲, the NLS device, doesn't give us the automatic opportunity to generate the result. We will have to write it manually, or we just leave it for doctors' consumption. But with your Biophilia tracker device, you can now also generate the vegetal test results added to your entropy results, CSS results, and NLS biochemical results. That's the advantage when it comes to vegetal test reporting. The Biophilia tracker now generates such. All right. When it comes to chakra is talking about measuring the electromagnetic field that surrounds the person. It carries healing frequencies. With that, you can predict sub-health condition. With that, you can also generate healing. All right. So the chakra measures the electromagnetic field, and you're able to use that to trace root cause of diseases and also send healings. All right. So the Biophilia tracker has it. The 𝗵𝗲 has it. The 17D NLS has it, but the Hunter doesn't have it. All right. So I just wanted to give you some of these comparison. Okay, one more thing, and which is the most important. It is, I'm talking about the etalon list, of these devices. The etalon list. When we're talking about etalon list, it's talking about the list of things that your Biophilia tracker device can do. All right. Take for example, maybe you're familiar with quantum analyzer, so it has a 52 report, 39 reports, and so on. So permit me to use the word reports to replace the word etalon. All right. The Biophilia tracker has over 5,000, precisely 5,364 etalons. 5,364 etalons, while the 𝗵𝗲 has 90 etalons, and your 17D has 10 etalons. Let me help you understand what etalons is talking about. Platforms. Etalons is talking about platforms through which you can carry out certain investigation. Etalons is talking about the platform where you are going to carry out the pathomorphology, the microorganism and helminth, food analysis, allergy analysis, trace element analysis, oral analysis, homeopathy preparations. That is the etalon list, trying to talk about the number of functions and features that device can carry out. The Biophilia tracker has 5,364, meaning that if you have this device, as you continue to master it more, you will begin to discover amazing things that the machine can do that you did not know. In fact, even your normal 17D, many people don't know the kind of things that the machine can do. In fact, people don't even know that the machine can treat. I'll do a video on metatherapy and I'll talk more on that. But all your NLS devices can run both diagnosis and treatment. As a matter of fact, even if you decide not to take drugs and just use the treatment option of your NLS device, you can actually receive your healing. I've had several cases like that because they are following the same principle. The drugs you take, the supplements you take for medication, they all carry healing frequencies. The herbs you take, every plant generates its healing frequency. Every plant has its own frequency. All right. Now, the Russians who originated this device have recorded as many diseases that has been existing on Earth. They took 35 years of research to record all the frequencies of as many pathologies that were existing. And consequently, when you want to reverse this disease, you send a reverse frequency. All right. So you're able to reverse pathologies by sending direct reverse frequency. Let me use layman's language. In mathematics, we say +1 - 1 = 0. -1 + 1 is equal to 0. So if there is a pathology going on in your body and the frequency number generating is -1, for you to eradicate or get rid of that pathology, all you just need to do is to send a reverse frequency of +1. -1 + 1 = 0. That is how you're able to neutralize the effect of a pathology going on in the body. So if you are taking a medication that you need to take for 3 months, especially a chronic condition, and you need to take for 3 months in order to reverse the disease, then you do this metatherapy for 3 months. Then you're able to get the same or similar results. So whatever medication you are taking, if it's going to take you 3 months of medication, you can also run 3 months of consistent metatherapy and you are going to see the results. Not talk about combining both. If you combine both the medication and the metatherapy, you get your healing faster. All right. So these are the advantages we have having this device that will give us amazing results. And when we get amazing results, word of mouth is the best form of advert. So you see people now recommending more people to you because they got results with you. So this knowledge is very important for you to know so that you are well informed on what device you will want to go for part-time and know the features, the advantage that you have owning such devices. Most importantly, if you want to order for any of these devices, trust me, there are fake out there. In my over 10 years of practice, I have counted 14 fake NLS devices. 14 fake NLS devices that doesn't have certain features, that the software is always giving problem, or the scanning is not accurate, one problem to the other. All right? So, but I have shop logs where I can give you reliable supply of these machines. And if you want to order for such, you can contact me. And you will get a reliable machine that will not give you problem, a reliable machine that will give you your desired results.